Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Waby. Like I mentioned previously, I'm going to be showing y'all how to have no recoil in Modern Warfare. So first off, let me just turn down the volume. Way too loud. Okay guys, so let's get right into it. So first thing you want to do is with any gun that you want to have no recoil, and I'm also going to make a video on separate guns on how to have no recoil, but basically guys, what you want to do is just shoot at a wall and learn the recoil pattern. So all you just want to do is shoot it and don't touch anything. And you see with the MP5, it kind of goes up and diagonally right. So I'll do it one more time so you could see. Hold on. So yeah, it's going up and diagonally right. So whatever recoil you see on the gun, you want to match it and do the opposite of it. So I want to go down and left. And so basically what that's going to do is when it's trying to go up and I hold a diagonal, it's going to make it where there's no recoil. So I'll just show you me controlling the recoil now once I kill this dude. So I'm going to be holding down and to the left a little bit. And you'll see it's basically no recoil and it's a straight dot. I'll show you one more time. And once you do this guys, you just want to steady your hand. So you just want to, here's my right hand, hold the right stick. Just want to go down and just steady it kind of at the same spot. So yeah, and basically you see me controlling it, it's a actual dot. It's absolutely pretty insane when I'm doing it. So let me just go ahead and shoot some bots real quick and you can see it in action. But that's basically one of the main things how to control recoil is first just to learn the recoil pattern of the gun that you're using. And I'll try to shoot a few bots and you can just see my hands, what I do, and the recoil of my gun and stuff like that. And yeah. Alright, as you see right there, pretty good aim. I'll shoot like 2 or 3 more bots and then we'll get into the next tip. You see, just while you're doing this to your mind, just keep in your head what you're gonna do with your right stick when you're doing this. And over time, you won't even think about it, and you'll just do it naturally. But first off, just think of holding down to the left with the MP5 if you're using it, or with it, whichever gun you're using. Alright, so the next tip is a great tip what I do for controlling recoil, and it may seem a little weird, but it really does help. So what this is, guys, is when you're shooting at an enemy, pay attention to your gun sights instead of the enemy. And so what that means is, so usually, you know, and I even do this to myself, when you're shooting at enemies, you look at the enemy while you're shooting at them and look past your gun sight, but you want to actually almost do the opposite. So you want to pay attention to you see where the green laser is and that line that comes up in the middle where the circle is, that's where I'm shooting. You want to stare at that when you're shooting at enemies instead of at them. And when you're looking at that, guys, you're going to be able to micromanage the recoil of it, and you're going to see when it goes up and down so much more easily. Now once you get more experience, you don't have to do this, but especially you can do this in game too. I'll still do it too. Just stare at that little line where you're shooting, or it could be a red dot or whatever gun you're using, but don't just look past at the enemy. You can, but if you want to have really good recoil control, just stare at that little line, and it's going to help you control the recoil so much better. And you can see just far away, I mean, I literally have no recoil on the MP5, just controlling it. And I don't even use this gun too much, but as you see, it's pretty much a laser. And that's how a lot of pros have no recoil, just by doing those 2 tips right here. So let's get into the next tip and kill this one last dude. Alright, so this next tip is pretty important as well. It's centering, and make sure you hit your first shot. So I'm going to make a full video soon, guys, on centering. But basically, I'll give you a little bit of a gist of it. So what it is you see the white circle on your screen right here. Well, you can't see my finger while I'm doing that. Let me kill these 2 people. So that white circle on my screen, which is the middle of my crosshairs, is where, you know, when you zoom in, your gun's going to be. So you want to have this around chest level and kind of have this where you think the enemies are going to be at. So basically, when you see an enemy, it's already going to be on your white dot. All you have to do is zoom in and hit them. And when you have good centering, it makes your recoil and your aim so much better. And when you hit your first shot in this game, and almost every Call of Duty game, just your very first bullet, it's going to make controlling the recoil and just killing enemies so much faster and quicker. So just focus on having that red dot and I'm hitting the enemies. And look, I just dropped a nuke. Let's go. But yeah, this basically, I'll have a full vid on this soon. That's the gist of what I'm saying. So I have two more tips for you guys. The next tip is one I don't really see many people talking about, and that is when you're shooting, guys, make sure you're strafing a little bit with your left stick, and that's just basically moving your left stick back and forth to the left and right. And for some reason, whenever you do this, it's gonna make your recoil so much easier to control, and you can just see this by hold on, let me kill this dude. By just like standing still and moving. So if you stand still at a wall, I mean, you can have no recoil, but if you're just moving a little bit, I don't know what it is, but it just makes your recoil so much easier to manage. So basically, all you gotta do is just make sure you strafe or jumping a little bit when you're moving. You don't have to jump every time, but just strafe left and right a little bit. And when you do this, it's gonna make your thing so much easier to do. I know it does for me. Now if it doesn't for you, you don't have to, but I just know I strafe automatically, so when I'm just used to strafing, and when I strafe, you see it's literally just a laser. So that's a great tip right there. And what you want to do, guys, is you can practice all these tips separately and then just try to combine them in custom games or something like that. And when you're playing, and at first you're just gonna have to try to remember these, like, you know, when you're doing it, but it's gonna come natural after a while. I mean, I don't even think anymore. I just play. You know, I don't really have that much focus because I've just practiced so much in custom games and just, you know, playing COD. It just helps a lot. So that's the second to last tip right there. The last tip, guys, is you know, like I said, just keep practicing. But one thing you can do is just try to watch how good players play and how pro players play and how they control the recoil. For some reason, when you just watch good players play and just look at the recoil, it's gonna make it so much easier to control yours. I don't know if that just works for me, but I know it definitely works for me. Like I mentioned in another video, I used to watch Dash Sheila on Black Ops 4, and just while watching him play, when I first got in the game, my recoil was just so much. I mean, I was controlling it so much easier just by looking at him. Because I guess you have high expectations when you see something have no recoil. You're going to want to replicate that too when you play. So anyways, guys, that's really all the tips I have for this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. And let me know if you guys want more tips and tricks like this or stuff. And anyways, guys, I'm out. And yeah, and by the way, too, I'm using Scuff Impact in this gameplay. No mods or anything like that. Just a straight Scuff Impact. So anyways, guys, I'm out. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Peace. Let me get one more kill. There we go. Alright, see you guys.